I went on a fishing trip with my children to a remote lodge in Newfoundland. On the third morning, they said, "Dad, stay here and rest. We'll be back before sunset." When sunset came, the boat was gone. The lodge was closing for the season. They left me in the wilderness with no phone, no wallet, no way out. But what they didn't know is that an old fisherman always finds his way back to shore. And when I came back, I brought the storm with me. They saw me on the national news. If this story moves you, subscribe. Every day there's a new story that could be yours. Tell me where you're watching from. I'm sitting in a small RCMP station in Corner Brook, Newfoundland. The plastic chair is cold against my back. I haven't changed my clothes in 3 days. My flannel shirt smells like pine smoke and dried sweat and something else I can't name. Fear, maybe. The fear of a man who realizes his own blood wanted him dead. Across from me, a young officer is typing on a computer. The keyboard clicks echo in the small room like a metronome, counting down the seconds of my ruined life. There's a coffee machine in the corner making a gurgling sound. The fluorescent light above me flickers every few seconds. It's giving me a headache, but I don't complain. I've lost the right to complain about small things. My name is Edward James Mitchell. I am 68 years old. I was born in Halifax, Nova Scotia, on February 12th, 1958. I built the largest marina and boat repair business on the Eastern Shore. Mitchell Marine Services. 42 years I ran that company. I employed over 150 men and women. Good people. Hard workers. I paid fair wages. I helped families put food on the table, send their kids to university, buy their first homes. And now I don't even have a piece of ID to prove who I am. The officer looks at me like I'm a vagrant who wandered in from the cold. Like I made up a story to get a warm bed and a hot meal. Maybe I would too, if I were him. A man my age, dirty, no documents, claiming his own children abandoned him in the bush. But it happened. God help me, it happened. 3 days ago, my granddaughter Sophie hugged me on the dock before we left for the lodge. She's 13, tall for her age, with her grandmother's green eyes. Eyes that were red from crying. She whispered something so quiet I almost missed it. "Grandpa, please don't go on this trip, please." I laughed. I ruffled her auburn hair. "What's wrong, sweetheart? It's just a fishing trip. I'll bring you back a nice picture of a salmon." She looked down at her sneakers. "The white ones I bought her for her birthday. Just don't go. Promise me." I didn't promise. I thought she was being dramatic. Teenagers say strange things. Their emotions run high. I kissed her forehead and got on the float plane with my sons and my daughter and their spouses. Now, sitting in this police station with the cold seeping into my bones, I understand. Sophie knew. My own granddaughter knew they were going to leave me, and she couldn't stop them. What can a 13-year-old girl do against her own parents? The typing stops. The officer looks up. "Mr. Mitchell, I've contacted the lodge. They confirm you were a guest, but the reservation was under your son's name. Robert Mitchell, party of 7. They say everyone checked out 3 days ago, all 7. That's impossible. I was still there. I was sleeping in the cabin when they left." He sighs. "Sir, the lodge manager says the cabin was empty when they did their final walkthrough. Your son signed the checkout form. He said everyone was accounted for." The words hit me like a punch to the chest. Robert signed a form saying I was with them. He lied. My own firstborn lied to leave me stranded in the wilderness. I think back to that morning, the last morning. Catherine brought me coffee. My daughter, my princess. She was smiling too much. That should have been my first warning. Catherine never smiled before 10 in the morning. "Dad, you look tired. Why don't you sleep in today? We're going to check out that waterfall Robert found on the map. It's a long hike. Might be too much for your knees." I wanted to go. I love waterfalls. Margaret and I used to chase waterfalls all across the Maritimes, but Catherine kept insisting. "Really, Dad? Rest. You've earned it. We'll take lots of pictures. We'll be back before dinner." Linda, Robert's wife, jumped in. "Yes, Father. You should rest. Leave your phone here. No signal anyway. Just relax. Read your book. We'll bring you back some wild berries." Linda. She always called me Father, not Dad. So formal. So cold. I knew Linda never liked me. I just never knew she hated me enough for this. I handed over my phone. I left my wallet in Robert's cabin because he said the safe was more secure. I kept nothing but the clothes on my back and the watch Margaret gave me for our 40th anniversary. They left at 7 in the morning. I fell back asleep. When I woke up, it was past noon. The lodge was quiet. Too quiet. I walked to Robert's cabin. Empty. Beds stripped. Luggage gone. I walked to James's cabin. Same thing. Empty. Clean. Like no one had ever been there. I walked to the main lodge. The owner, a weathered man named Frank, was locking up the supply shed. "Where is everyone?" I asked. He looked confused. "Everyone left this morning, Mr. Mitchell. Your son chartered a float plane. Said you were all heading back to Halifax." The ground tilted under my feet. I didn't leave. I was in my cabin. Frank's face changed. First confusion, then concern, then something close to fear. "Sir," Robert checked all the cabins himself. He signed the form. He said the party was complete. "Check again, please. Check the manifest." We went inside. Frank pulled up the records on his old computer. The screen glowed blue in the dim office. 7 guests checked in. 7 guests checked out. Robert Mitchell signed for everyone. He showed me the digital signature, Robert's messy scrawl. I've seen it 1,000 times on birthday cards and business documents. He signed me out while I was sleeping 50 meters away. The room started spinning. I grabbed the edge of the desk. I need to call them. I need a phone. Frank handed me the satellite phone. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely dial. I called Robert's cell. Straight to voicemail. I called James. Same thing. I called Catherine. Ring, ring, ring. Then her voice, cheerful and fake. "Hi, you've reached Catherine. Leave a message." I left a message. My voice was shaking. "Catherine, it's Dad. I'm still at the lodge. You left me here. Please call back. Please." She never called back. None of them did. Frank looked at me with pity. The kind of pity you give a stray dog. "Sir, the lodge closes tomorrow. I can give you a ride to Corner Brook, but after that, you're on your own. I'm sorry." On my own. 68 years old. No ID. No money. No phone. No family. I spent that night in the lodge's empty dining hall. Frank gave me a blanket and some leftover soup. I didn't sleep. I just stared at the ceiling and tried to understand how my own children could do this. The next morning, Frank drove me 4 hours on logging roads to Corner Brook. He dropped me at the RCMP station. "Good luck, sir. I hope this is all a misunderstanding." It wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a plan. A plan that had been brewing for years. The officer clears his throat. "Mr. Mitchell, without ID, there's not much we can do. We've sent inquiries to the Halifax police and the RCMP there. They're trying to locate your family, but so far, no one is responding. No one is responding." Of course they aren't. They wanted me gone. Why would they respond? The station door opens. A woman walks in. She's about 40, short brown hair, practical clothes. She's carrying a newspaper and a coffee. She stops when she sees me. "Is this him? The man from the lodge?" The officer nods. "Ma'am, this is a police matter." She ignores him. She walks straight to me. Her eyes are sharp, intelligent. "Mr. Mitchell? Edward Mitchell? From Mitchell Marine Services?" I look up. "Yes. Do I know you?" She sits in the chair next to me. "No. But my father knew you. Thomas Brewer. Tommy. You hired him in 1989 when no one else would." Tommy Brewer. The name hits me like a wave from the past. Tommy was a fisherman who lost his boat in a storm. Lost everything. Came to my shop looking for work. He was 42, broke, with a drinking problem and a family to feed. I gave him a job, taught him how to repair engines. He worked for me for 23 years until he retired. Tommy was a good man, I say. Best mechanic I ever had. The woman's eyes fill with tears. He talked about you until the day he died. He said you saved his life. He said if any of us ever met you, we should help you however we could. She holds up the newspaper. Front page of the Corner Brook Western Star. There's a blurry photo of me at the RCMP station, taken through the window. The headline reads, Elderly man, abandoned by family at remote lodge. This story is everywhere, Mr. Mitchell. Someone at the lodge posted it on Facebook. It's been shared 50,000 times. People are looking for your family. People are furious. I take the newspaper. My hands are trembling. The photo shows me looking lost, broken, old. An old man abandoned like garbage. My name is Jennifer Brewer, the woman says. I'm a nurse at the hospital here. I'm going to help you, whatever you need. For my father, for what you did for him. I start to cry. I can't help it. I haven't cried since Margaret died. But sitting here, in this cold station, with this stranger offering me kindness when my own blood left me for dead, I break down. Jennifer puts her hand on my shoulder. It's okay, Mr. Mitchell. You're not alone anymore. But I am alone. More alone than I've ever been. Let me tell you about my family. Let me tell you how we got here. Margaret and I got married in 1982. Small ceremony at a church in Dartmouth. She wore her mother's dress. I wore a borrowed suit. We had $47 in our bank account and a dream. I started Mitchell Marine Services with one small shop and 2 employees. Margaret kept the books. She was a school teacher, but she had a head for numbers. Every night, she'd sit at our kitchen table with a calculator and a ledger, making sure we didn't go under. We didn't just survive. We thrived. By 1990, we had 50 employees. By 2000, over 100. We expanded into boat sales, marina services, charter fishing. We were the biggest marine business east of Montreal. Robert was born in 1984, our firstborn. He was competitive from the start, always had to be first, best, smartest. He got good grades, but not because he loved learning. He just couldn't stand anyone being better than him. He went to business school in Toronto, got his MBA, came back with expensive suits and expensive ideas. Dad, this company is stuck in the past. Let me modernize it. I let him try. He lost $200,000 on a failed app development project. I didn't fire him. He was my son. James came 2 years later, quieter, shyer, always in Robert's shadow. He dropped out of college to work at the shop, good with his hands, bad with people. He married young, divorced younger, started drinking. I had to suspend him twice for showing up impaired. Catherine was our baby, born when I was 36, Margaret's last pregnancy. We almost lost them both. After that, I spoiled her. I admit it. Whatever Catherine wanted, Catherine got. She married a lawyer named Derek at 26. Big wedding. I paid for everything. They had Sophie. And for a few years, things were good. Then Derek's firm went under. Gambling debts, they said. Catherine came home with Sophie, broke and broken. I gave her $100,000 to start over. She never paid it back. I never asked. In 2019, I had a heart attack. Right there in my office, looking at inventory reports. Collapsed behind my desk. My secretary found me unconscious. The doctor said I was lucky. Another 10 minutes and I would have died. But he warned me, Mr. Mitchell, you need to slow down. Your heart can't take this stress anymore. Robert came to the hospital. He sat at the foot of my bed with his laptop open. Dad, it's time. Sell the company. You've done enough. I didn't want to sell. Mitchell Marine was my life. But Margaret took my hand. Her eyes were full of fear. Eddie, I almost lost you. Please, let's enjoy whatever time we have left. For her, I agreed. I always agreed for her. I sold the company in 2020. $4.2 million. More money than I ever dreamed of. Margaret and I were going to travel. See the world. Visit the places we'd always talked about. But Margaret got sick. 8 months after I sold the company. Ovarian cancer. Stage 4. The doctors gave her 6 months. She lived for 14. She fought every single day. I was with her until the end. She died in our bedroom, in the house where we'd lived for 38 years. Her last words still echo in my head. Eddie, the will. Promise me you'll wait. 5 years. Don't let them open it early. Promise me. I promised. I didn't understand why, but I promised. Margaret never asked for much. This was her dying wish. After the funeral, the questions started. Dad, when are we reading the will? Dad, we need to know what Mom left. Dad, 5 years is ridiculous. Let's just get it over with. Robert was the worst. He called every week, sometimes twice. His voice was always strained, impatient. Dad, this is cruel. Making us wait. We have lives to plan. I told them no. 5 years. Those were Margaret's instructions. I was going to honor them. 6 months ago, I overheard something at Robert's house. I went to use the bathroom during Sunday dinner. On my way back, I heard voices in the kitchen. Robert and Linda. Robert, we owe 1.8 million. If we don't pay by spring, we lose everything. The will opens in 2 years. There'll be money then. Linda's voice dropped lower. And if something happens to him before then? Silence. Then Robert's voice. Linda, don't. I'm just saying. He's 68. Heart problems. Anything could happen. I stood in the hallway, frozen. My heart was pounding so loud I thought they'd hear it. I told myself it was nothing. Frustration, financial stress. People say things they don't mean. I was wrong. The trip to Newfoundland was Robert's idea. Dad, let's do something special. The whole family. Like the old days. I was touched. My son wanted to spend time with me. How could I say no? He booked everything. The lodge, the float plane, the cabins. He insisted on handling all the arrangements. Don't worry about a thing, Dad. Just pack your bag and show up. I showed up. And they left me to die. The Western Star article goes viral. Jennifer shows me on her phone. The shares climb every hour. 10,000, 50,000, 200,000. Comments pour in from across Canada. From the States. From Europe. How could they do this to their own father? Those monsters should be in jail. I hope they rot. Someone starts a GoFundMe. I didn't ask for it. I don't want charity. But in 24 hours, it raises $40,000. A reporter from CBC calls the RCMP station. Then CTV. Then Global. They all want interviews. Jennifer handles everything. She becomes my spokesperson, my protector, my angel. Mr. Mitchell is not ready to speak publicly, she tells them. But when he is, the world will know the truth. On the 5th day, something changes. A woman walks into the station. She's tall, indigenous, wearing an RCMP uniform with sergeant's stripes. Her name tag reads S. Fontaine. Mr. Mitchell? I'm Sergeant Sarah Fontaine. I've been assigned to your case. We found your family. My heart stops. Where are they? They flew back to Halifax 3 days ago. They've been unreachable. But this morning, your son Robert made a statement to the media. She pulls out her phone, plays a video. Robert is standing in front of his house. His expensive house. His face is pale, strained. Linda is nowhere to be seen. This is all a terrible misunderstanding. My father has dementia. He wandered off from the lodge. We searched for him for hours. We thought he had been airlifted to safety. We are devastated to learn he was left behind. We are working with authorities to bring him home safely. Dementia. He said, I have dementia. My hands ball into fists. I have never been so angry in my life. That's a lie, I say. My voice is shaking. I don't have dementia. I was asleep in my cabin. They left me on purpose. Sergeant Fontaine nods. I know, Mr. Mitchell. Frank at the lodge confirmed your story. He said you were coherent, clear, articulate. No signs of cognitive impairment. Your son is lying. She sits across from me. Her eyes are kind but fierce. Mr. Mitchell, I've seen cases like this before. Elder abuse. It's more common than people think. Children who see their parents as obstacles, burdens, cash cows to be milked. She pauses. I lost my grandmother to this. Her own children moved her to a home, took control of her finances, never visited. She died alone. When I saw your case, I asked to be assigned. I want to help you get justice. Justice. I don't even know what that means anymore. What happens now? I ask. Now, we build a case. We have Frank's testimony. We have the signed checkout form. We have your story. And soon, we'll have the evidence we need. She leans forward. Mr. Mitchell, did your wife leave a will? The will. Margaret's will, the one they've been so desperate to open. Yes, it's supposed to be opened 2 years from now. Where is it? With our lawyer, Arthur Henderson, in Halifax. Sergeant Fontaine makes a note. I'll contact him. If your children are this desperate for money, the will might explain why. Jennifer drives me to a small hotel. Clean, quiet. She pays for 3 nights. Stay here. Rest. I'll bring you meals. Sergeant Fontaine will handle the rest. I sit on the bed. It's soft. Too soft. I don't deserve softness. I think about Sophie, my granddaughter. Her green eyes filled with tears at the dock. She knew. She tried to warn me. What are they telling her now? That Grandpa is crazy? That Grandpa wandered off and got lost? Are they making her lie for them? The thought makes me sick. I think about Margaret. What would she say if she could see this? I told you, Eddie. I told you to be careful with them. She did tell me. So many times. She saw something in our children that I refused to see. Greed, selfishness, entitlement. But they were our children. Our babies. How do you stop loving your own children? You don't. Even when they try to kill you, you don't. 1 week later, Sergeant Fontaine calls. Mr. Mitchell, can you come to the station? There's something you need to see. I take a taxi. Jennifer meets me there. We walk into a conference room together. Sergeant Fontaine is waiting with a man I recognize. Arthur Henderson, my lawyer, Margaret's lawyer. Arthur is 72. White hair, sharp eyes, expensive suit. He's been handling our affairs for 30 years. Edward. He shakes my hand. His grip is firm. I'm so sorry. When I heard what happened, I came immediately. Arthur, what's going on? He sits down, opens a leather briefcase, pulls out an envelope. Margaret gave me this 3 years ago, the day before she died. She made me swear not to open it unless something happened to you, unless the children did what she feared they would do. The room goes silent. She knew, I whisper. Margaret knew they would do this. Arthur nods. She suspected. She saw how they treated her in those final months. The questions about money, the impatience, the looks they gave each other when they thought she wasn't watching. He slides the envelope across the table. It's sealed with red wax. Margaret's initial pressed into it. She changed her will, Edward, 2 weeks before she died, without telling anyone. This letter explains everything. My hands are shaking as I break the seal. I pull out a single sheet of paper. Margaret's handwriting. The same handwriting that wrote me love notes for 40 years. I read it out loud. My dearest Eddie, if you're reading this, then I was right about our children. I'm so sorry, my love. I hoped I was wrong. I prayed I was wrong. But I saw them, Eddie. I saw how they looked at us in those last months. Like we were obstacles. Like we were in the way. I heard them talking when they thought I was asleep. Talking about the money. About the house. About what they would do when it's all over. That's why I changed the will. Everything goes to you, Eddie. The house, the savings, the investments, everything. And if something happens to you, if they succeed in hurting you, everything goes to charity. The children get nothing, not $1. The 5-year wait was my test. I wanted to see if they would show patience, if they would show love, if they would prove me wrong. They didn't. I knew they wouldn't. Please forgive them if you can, my love. I couldn't, but you were always better than me, more forgiving, more kind. I love you. I have always loved you. Take care of Sophie. She is the only one who is pure. Your Margaret. I finish reading. The room is silent, except for the sound of my own ragged breathing. Jennifer is crying. Sergeant Fontaine's jaw is tight. Arthur is looking at me with something like admiration. She knew, I say again. She knew 3 years ago. Arthur nods. The new will is ironclad. I drew it up myself. Your children have no legal claim to anything. Not the house, not the accounts, nothing. Sergeant Fontaine stands. Mr. Mitchell, this letter changes everything. Combined with the evidence we have, we can proceed with charges. Elder abandonment, attempted fraud, maybe more. I look at the letter, Margaret's words, her warning, her love reaching out from beyond the grave to protect me. What do you want to do? Arthur asks. I fold the letter carefully. I put it in my shirt pocket, close to my heart. I want to go home. I want to see Sophie, and I want them to answer for what they did. 2 weeks later, I land in Halifax. Sergeant Fontaine arranged everything. A police escort from the airport, media waiting outside, cameras flashing. I don't hide. I walk straight through them. Mr. Mitchell, how does it feel to be home? Mr. Mitchell, what do you want to say to your children? I stop. I look at the cameras. I want to say that Margaret was right, and I was a fool. The reporters explode with questions, but I'm already moving. A police SUV takes me to my house, my home, the home Margaret and I built together. There are people outside, neighbors, strangers. They're holding signs. Welcome home, Eddie. We believe you. Justice for Mitchell. An old woman breaks through the crowd. Martha Chen. She's lived next door for 20 years. Her eyes are red. Eddie, I'm so sorry. If I had known what they were planning, I would have stopped them. I hug her. She smells like cinnamon, like home. Inside, the house is exactly as I left it. Margaret's photos on the mantel, her favorite chair by the window, her garden visible through the kitchen window, overgrown but still beautiful. I sit in her chair. I close my eyes. I'm home, but it's not over. Not yet. The next morning, there's a knock at my door. Sergeant Fontaine is outside. Mr. Mitchell, your children have been brought in for questioning. They're at the Halifax RCMP station. My heart pounds. All three? All three. Their spouses too. And there's something else. She hands me her phone. A text message. Grandpa, I'm sorry. I tried to stop them. I love you, Sophie. Tears fill my eyes. My granddaughter, the only one who tried. Can I see her? She's with Child Services right now. Catherine and Derek have been deemed unfit pending investigation. Sophie asked to see you. We drive to the station. Inside, it's chaos. Lawyers, officers, media trying to get in. Sergeant Fontaine leads me to a small room. Sophie is there, sitting on a plastic chair. She looks smaller than I remember. Fragile. Grandpa. She runs to me, throws her arms around my waist, buries her face in my chest. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I tried to tell you. I tried to stop them. I hold her tight. She's shaking. It's not your fault, sweetheart. It was never your fault. Mom said you wandered off. She made me lie to the police, but I couldn't anymore. I told them everything. I look at Sergeant Fontaine. She nods. Sophie's testimony corroborates everything. She heard them planning it 2 weeks before the trip. She knows about the financial problems. She knows everything. Sophie looks up at me. Margaret's eyes. Can I live with you, Grandpa? I don't want to go back to them. Ever. I kiss her forehead. We'll figure it out, sweetheart. I promise. This time, I mean it. The questioning takes 3 hours. I wait outside with Sophie. She falls asleep on my shoulder. Finally, the door opens. Robert comes out first. He sees me. Our eyes meet. He looks old. Older than me. His suit is wrinkled. His face is gray. Dad eye. I hold up my hand. Don't say anything. He closes his mouth. His shoulders slump. James comes out next. He can't look at me. He stares at the floor, shuffling past like a ghost. Catherine is last. My princess. My baby girl. She's crying, mascara running down her cheeks. She reaches for me. Daddy, please. It wasn't supposed to be like this. We weren't going to really what? My voice is cold. I barely recognize it. Really leave me to die? Really steal my inheritance? Really lie about dementia? She flinches. We were desperate. Derek's debts. Robert's business. James's divorce. We needed money. We thought if you were declared incompetent. If I was declared incompetent, you could control everything. That was the plan. She doesn't deny it. Derek appears behind her. His face is blank. He doesn't even try to apologize. They're let out different doors. Robert to the left, James and Catherine to the right. Derek is escorted separately. Sophie wakes up. She watches her mother leave. I don't want to see her again, she whispers. You don't have to. Not until you're ready. The trial takes 6 months. 6 months of lawyers and documents and testimonies. Robert gets 3 years. Elder abandonment with intent to defraud. His sentence is the harshest because he was the ringleader. James gets 18 months. Lesser involvement, but he knew. He could have stopped it. He didn't. Catherine gets 2 years. Suspended. Probation and community service. Her lawyer argued she was coerced by Derek and Robert. The judge showed mercy. Derek gets disbarred. His law license, gone. His reputation, destroyed. He divorces Catherine before the ink is dry on the verdict. Linda divorces Robert the same week. I told him it was too risky, she tells the media. He didn't listen. I don't feel satisfaction watching them fall. I thought I would. I thought revenge would feel sweet. It just feels empty. Sophie comes to live with me. The court grants me full custody. Catherine doesn't fight it. She can't even look at Sophie anymore. We fall into a routine. I make breakfast. She goes to school. We have dinner together. We watch hockey on Saturday nights. Sometimes she asks about her mother. Do you think she'll ever apologize? Really apologize? I don't know, sweetheart. I tell her the truth. Maybe. Someday. But I don't count on it. Robert writes me a letter from prison. 3 pages. I read it once. Dad, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I was desperate and scared, and I made terrible decisions. I know you can't forgive me. I don't deserve forgiveness. But I want you to know that I love you. I always loved you. I just forgot what that meant. I don't write back. Not because I'm cruel. Because I don't know what to say. How do you respond to the son who tried to kill you? James sends me a birthday card. My 69th birthday. A simple card with a fishing boat on the front. Happy birthday, Dad. I hope someday we can fish together again. I put the card on my dresser. I look at it every morning. I don't know if we'll ever fish together again. But I keep the card. Catherine sends nothing. No letter, no card, no apology. Maybe she's too ashamed. Maybe she's too angry. Maybe she's just broken. I pray for her sometimes. Late at night, when Sophie is asleep and the house is quiet, I pray that she finds peace. That she finds herself. She's still my daughter. Even after everything. Jennifer Brewer visits every month. She drives up from Corner Brook just to check on me. She brings fish she's caught. We cook it together. Mr. Mitchell, you've given me something important, she tells me one evening. What's that? Proof that my father was right. That kindness comes back around. That helping people matters. I think about Tommy Brewer, the broken fisherman I hired 40 years ago. The man who worked for me until he retired. The man who told his daughter to help me if she ever got the chance. He saved my life. From beyond the grave, just like Margaret. Kindness comes back around. Maybe that's the lesson in all this. 3 years later, Robert gets out of prison. He comes to see me. He's thinner, grayer. His expensive suits are gone. He's wearing jeans and a plain jacket. Dad, can we talk? We sit on the porch. The same porch where Sophie and I watched the sunset. I'm not asking for forgiveness, he says. I know I don't deserve it. I just want you to know that I've changed. Prison changed me. I see things differently now. How so? He looks out at the water. I understand what's important. Family. Real family. Not money. Not success. Just people who love you. And do you have that now? He shakes his head. No. Linda left. Mason won't speak to me. I have nothing. I should feel vindicated. I should feel righteous. I just feel sad. Robert, what you did nearly killed me. Not just physically, emotionally, spiritually. You broke something that can't be fixed. I know, Dad, but you're still my son, and I still love you. I don't know how to stop. He starts to cry. My grown son, crying on my porch. Can we try again? Start over? I think about it. I think about Margaret's letter. She said I was more forgiving than her. Maybe she was right. We can try. Slowly. No promises. He nods. That's more than I deserve. He leaves. I watch his car disappear down the road. Sophie comes out. She saw everything from the window. Are you going to let him back in? I don't know, sweetheart. What do you think? She sits beside me. 13 years old when this all started. 16 now. tall and beautiful and wise beyond her years. Grandma always said everyone deserves a second chance, even the people who hurt us most. Margaret's wisdom, living on in her granddaughter. Maybe she was right. Maybe? Sophie leans her head on my shoulder. But maybe some people need to earn it first. I smile. When did you get so smart? I learned from the best. We watch the sunset together. The sky turns orange, then pink, then purple. I think about everything that happened. The betrayal, the abandonment, the trial, the pain. But I also think about Jennifer, about Sergeant Fontaine, about Frank at the lodge, about strangers who shared my story and sent money and held signs outside my house. I think about kindness, how it shows up in unexpected places, how it saves us when we're lost. And I think about Margaret, my love, my partner, my protector. She knew. She always knew. And she made sure I would be okay, even when she was gone. The sea of life tried to drown me. My own children pushed me under. But I'm still here, still breathing, still watching sunsets with my granddaughter. Because an old fisherman always finds his way back to shore. Always. If this story touched your heart, leave me a comment. Tell me what you would do in my place. Would you forgive? Would you forget? Would you let them back in? Share with someone who needs to hear this. Subscribe to Vellum Vengeance, because every day there's a story that deserves to be told. A voice that deserves to be heard. Thank you for staying with me until the end. Thank you for listening.